Hi folks, here's a quick video, or try to make it quick, about the coronavirus, COVID-19. I'm making this video because I'm a little bit sick of the news and I suppose, you know, social media feeds, that sort of thing. It's just a little bit, rather than tune into these external channels, even though I'm posting this on social media and onto YouTube and the like. But nevertheless, I thought I'll ask the divine what it has to say about this whole situation. So here we go. The first image was of myself sitting down in my studio at my desk, and with this large hand of stars reaching up towards the roof. This hand of stars reminded me of, well, like it actually reminded me of my sort of future self that I did in a guided meditation many moons ago. Now the next image was of a laboratory situation where there was an incubator, and then a scientist or doctor, something of that ilk, in the background. Very white, very surgical, clearly a lab. It cut straight to the forest floor, and it was a dark forest. It was like the trees were making a path for one showing where this virus had potentially come from, but also maybe where the solution to this disease may lay as well. Next image was the earth broke open, and I started going down, and then looking up I saw a very large being holding a sword, and like a sword of truth. Whenever I think of swords, like, I naturally think of Archangel Michael, whom I have a very strong connection with, and we all do, just a thought away. But the sword looked very like Excalibur, or yeah, something like that. But anyway, next image, which was a surprise to me, was a submersive, like, I want to say spacecraft. So it looked futuristic, but it came from underneath the ocean, and I thought, oh, this is Atlantean, and the word, well, the name Atlantis came to mind, not Lemuria. So yeah, I thought, okay, I wonder why. And then after I saw that, the large sword thrusted into the earth, and when it connected with the earth, the sword's blade, it turned into this black obsidian crystal, and which is very grounding, very protective stone. And and then the next image, it looked like the future, but it felt like the past. And I assume this was a scene from the Atlantean times, where there were these figures that were all connected with this tube of light, and through their heads. So it actually reminded me of a chain gang, and so in one sense they were conditioned to have, be thinking with the light, but also they were in some way controlled by that too. It looked like they were sort of in a craft, or in a bomb shelter or something like that. And it reminded me a little bit of, I don't know if anyone's seen the film 2012, where they all go into these, like, you know, we'll live through these catastrophic events in a capsule, or like these large crafts, which are also based in the water when the waters rise. That's very interesting. Then in the next image, I saw these being, or like these figures, not connected with light through their heads. And, you know, and also it sort of reminded me also of 2012 and kind of Elysium and that type of science fiction movie, with like, or even like Below Deck in Titanic. 3 movies references, where there's the haves and the have-nots. Yeah. Number 10 was back to the present day laboratory, and, you know, lining up were these, you know, bodies, lined up like test tubes, I wrote, in a laboratory. And it did reminded me of fourth movie reference, Jurassic Park, like the latest one where there's the maybe it isn't the latest one, but the one where there's like that extra killer T-Rex being made, and why there was these anonymous figures, like bodies as vessels rather than, you know, bodies as souls. I'm not sure, but I did get the sense that they were testing whatever they were making in this laboratory. Then I saw a cloaked figure, and I did get the sense that it was underground, but not like necessarily, you know, like a spirit being in the lower realms. Like, it actually felt kind of actually subterranean. And so, you know, and I've recently come across information about the inner earth, or the hollow earth. Very interesting stuff. Anyway, a cloaked figure, who I sensed was female, comes down the stairs from her, you know, in her cavernous domain. And so she starts walking down the stairs, and then it cuts to her collapsing onto a man who looks like he's died or is dying. And I got a lot of the figure was darkened, and I got a lot of, I just sensed a lot of compassion from this person or being, and presumably Atlantean. So then in the next image, she grew these, well, angel wings, and she lifted off, what do you call it? This locust shell from the figure. And, you know, locusts have this biblical, what do you call it? Biblical symbology, like, of, you know, a plague of locusts. And also, like, you know, personally I related to the sun, and then underneath this outer shell of a locust was a moth. And but it was a very figurative moth, like, so it looked like a mothman. and like I thought, oh, that's really interesting, you know, to be able to see in the dark and to, you know, have these wings that can fly. And I'll talk about more of that meaning at the end of the reading. So next image was again present day, but it was more like a pictorial representation of all of the global leaders getting together and strategizing what to do about this situation. And but un, but and they were doing it over, you know, the ocean, but unbeknownst to them, the light that they were all looking with was actually the light of this Atlantean underwater craft or spacecraft. And so I thought, oh, okay, so they're shedding some light on the situation. And perhaps from a compassionate place, like, you know, with mistakes that they perhaps made in their lifetime. Next image was, I saw these Atlantean beings, and these, but they did remind me of Lemuria too, like from a reading I did for Kalaya, where they didn't die, but they just rose their frequency, so they transcended the three-dimensional, or, you know, their physical form, and they were also represented with these transparent angel wings. So they were providing an angelic service to humanity out of compassion. Next image was, I think it was back to Atlantean times, but suggesting that there is a solution, or, you know, I don't want to say a vaccine or a cure, but that there is a cure on the way. And it was sort of like a what do you call crowd surfing? Crowd surfing this luminous body of light, and each of the countries taking a piece of this light and sharing and helping their people. Now, second last image, it kind of went to a cliff face, and there was a large dark opening in the side of this mountainous wall, and these sort of guardian, or, you know, gatekeeper type people or beings that had a very timeless quality about them, just saying, you know, we're here in the Middle Earth as well. We aren't just, you know, hanging out you know, in the upper realm, or, you know, at a frequency that you can't see. We're very, you know, here and now as a part of the earth and her ocean too. And last image was the submersible spacecraft returning to maybe the inner earth, but certainly below the ocean again. And so that was it, folks. The standout image for me was the one of the Atlantean lady growing wings and releasing us from the, I suppose, the blinders of the body mind or the egoic mind, to be able to be this, you know, moth of one that can see through dark times and transcend heavier emotion with their wings. And, you know, I think the other message is that there's a lot of benevolent and interested parties outside of the human race that really take care of us. So thank you everyone for watching. If there, I'm tempted to do a live drawing, maybe on the new moon, for the new moon. How cool would that be? I mean, that'd be amazing. And you know, maybe to music, again, like I did fairly recently. So again, thank you everyone. I hope you're doing okay. You know, I'm inside, and but it's quite sunny outside. Anyway, thank you so much. Cheers. Bye.